Welcome to WRC, the World Rally Championship. After ice in Monte Carlo, snow and sub-zero temperatures in Sweden, and car-destroying rocks in Turkey, it's time for drivers to enjoy themselves and really let loose. It's the Rally New Zealand.
Press 100.
The fast-flowing gravel stages are a driver's paradise. It's pedal to the metal and may the best man win.
The roads are really the best here in New Zealand.
Just the roads are very nice to drive.
It's a very straightforward 100% from start to finish.
Fast and wide, you can slide a lot.
You just have to concentrate on driving.
It's good for everybody.
It's very, very quick. It's almost like a racetrack.
Cars, equipment, drivers, engineers, mechanics, the whole WRC travels over 12,000 miles from their European bases to New Zealand's North Island, where 22 superfast stages radiate from the rally base in Auckland. Last year, Peugeot dominated both the Drivers' and Manufacturers' Championship. But this year, there's a new kid in town, Citroën. Sebastien Loeb's win in Monte Carlo proved the car was fast, but was it strong enough? Turkey was a real car breaker, but 2 of the 3 Citroëns made it home, with an emotional return to the top of the podium for Carlos Sainz. Carlos is a 4 times New Zealand winner. Confidence must be sky high.
Here it's different rally, different surface, and here we are. We have to see what can we do.
Citroën teammate Colin McRae won here for Subaru in 1995 on his way to the world title. But for Loeb, the New Zealand is a totally new experience.
Sure, it will be a difficult race for me because I never done it, and every year it's the same stages, so all the driver knows very well the stages, and I think it can be a big disadvantage for me.
Citroën may be making all the headlines, but it's still a Peugeot leading the Drivers' Championship. Richard Burns has been a model of consistency, always in the points, but his last WRC win was here in 2001. He's still looking for that first victory in the Peugeot, but his cause will not be helped by being first on the road on day 1.
It's just a fine layer of gravel on the surface of the road, and underneath it's really very, very hard packed gravel, so it's almost like concrete. You can leave tyre marks on the road once the road is clean, but being first car on the road, it's not. You just have this dusting of gravel on the surface, and obviously you slide around and roll around on top of that.
After an up-and-down start to the season, Gronholm finds himself down in 6th place in the Drivers' Championship, and he'll be running in the same position, which should work in his favour. Harry Rovanperä in the 3rd Peugeot. The cruel twist of fate that forced him to retire when he was leading in Turkey is long forgotten. Ford's new state-of-the-art Focus will make his eagerly awaited competition debut here. It certainly looks the part and promises to give that extra performance that might just get Marco Martin and Francois Duval on top of the podium. Subaru will be hoping a rejuvenated Tommi Makinen can continue his good form here, and Petter Solberg can get his season going.
I have no problem. The car works good, and I'm in top form, so hopefully we can get a very good result.
Hyundai have made modifications to the car which will lift the confidence of Freddie Loix and Armin Schwarz. Skoda's Tony Gardemeister had his best ever WRC result here with a 3rd in 1999, while his experienced teammate Didier Auriol has been on the podium no fewer than 4 times. New Zealand also sees the welcome return of Mitsubishi to the WRC fold. This is the first rally of their limited programme for the year, and driver Alister McRae prepared in a rather unconventional way with a jump from Auckland's 328-metre high Sky Tower. 3 events down, and it doesn't get much closer than this. Richard Burns leads, but the list of drivers behind him reads like a who's who of rallying, and the battle for points is going to be fierce. And it's Citroën who are leading the manufacturer's title, thanks to 2 wins out of 3 rallies, but Peugeot are close behind. But first, it was a chance for drivers to get acquainted with the locals. Francois Duval accepted the traditional Maori greeting at the official start in Auckland. early Friday morning and the start of the rally proper. And the rain hadn't dampened anyone's spirits as the crowds turned out to see rallying's finest in action. The first stage is a New Zealand classic. Here's Nicky Grist to tell us more.
Let us take a look at this opening test, courtesy of Virtual Spectator, which is typical of today's stages. This particular one is quick at the start, with a twisty section in the middle, and then finishes very fast over crests. The road conditions are generally a lot better this year, and I think a lot of stage records will be beaten.
Richard Burns is first out and the rain is a blessing. If the gravel was dry, he'd have the job of cleaning the loose stones off the racing line. But the wet conditions make the road soft and the stones sink in. That means better grip. Despite this moment, things are looking good. He's fifth quickest on the stage. Although Colin McRae's won here 3 times, this is his first taste of New Zealand in a Citroen. This spin shows even the most experienced of drivers can misjudge the line when they're pushing to the limit. And Carlos Sainz, buoyed up by his Turkey win, is also giving it maximum attack. Sebastien Loeb's only experience of this event is last year's recce, so the young Frenchman is finding his feet on the fast and flowing roads. The fastest of the Subarus is Petter Solberg. He's 4th. And straight out of the blocks is Peugeot's Harry Rovanperä. The Finn is no stranger to success in New Zealand, finishing 2nd last year. 100% commitment, he goes 3rd quickest. It's a baptism of fire for the new Focus. Despite the slippery conditions, Marco Martin keeps control and puts in an impressive performance and a very quick time. But just look at Marcus Gronholm fly. He's on a charge and driving flat out. But can the world champion beat the time set by Martin? Watch the clock on your right. 6 seconds quicker. The message to his rivals is clear: catch me if you can. Hyundai's Armin Schwarz is hoping to score some points here, but maybe he was trying just too hard. A big smash, but Schwarz and his co-driver Manfred Hiemer escape unhurt, but the car is going nowhere.
There was a fast right bend and it tightens more than we expected. And we go into the bank, and then from this right bend we were thrown to the other side in a left bend in the bank, and from there on we started to roll, and I don't know, it was heavy. I'm wondering why it not stopped, but it was really fast and heavy.
So Marcus Gronholm takes the lead, but a great start for Marco Martin in the all-new Focus. Carlos Sainz is the best of the Citroens in 8th. But that spin cost Colin McRae dearly. He's well off the pace and languishing in 14th position. Look like they're enjoying themselves, including Peugeot's asphalt ace, Gilles Panizzi. It takes some skill to throw your car into these slippery corners at just under 110 kilometers an hour, but Richard Burns does just that and was fastest on stage 2. Colin McRae came here determined to win and take the lead in the championship, but he's got problems. His windscreen is misting over and he can barely see the road in front of him. Obviously straining to see, he's losing time and losing his patience. His face says it all. He's not happy. At the end of the stage, you can't even see McRae through the misted windows.
The windscreen steamed up right at the start after a puddle, and I couldn't see a thing.
Well, literally nothing, or did it just slow you?
Nothing.
How much time do you think you lost?
I don't know. A lot. 30 seconds.
His teammate Carlos Sainz is suffering with the same problem. The windscreen fogs up and Carlos can barely see either. Despite the impaired visibility, he isn't losing as much time as McRae, but he's not setting any records either. And just when Citroën thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. Sebastien Loeb's car developed the same problem, but the young Frenchman wasn't fazed by it at all. In fact, he put in a gritty performance to go fourth quickest on stage 3, Brooks. Skoda's Tony Gardemeister is struggling. The Finn's windscreen wipers stopped working. It's cost him time and he's out of the top 10. But there's no question as to who's out in front. Marcus Gronholm. Super cool, he looks unstoppable. So 3 stages down, 19 to go. Marcus extends his lead while Petter Solberg is breathing down the neck of Marco Martin in second place. But look at the Citroëns of Sainz, Loeb and McRae. The problem with the misted windscreens obviously costing them dearly. McRae over a minute behind Gronholm. Back at service, it appeared that the reason behind Citroën's problems was a simple one.
I think it's the pilot don't put the anti-fog on the car because I think they don't know exactly how is working, and I don't know. We have to look what the problem.
Marcus, you must be very, very happy with that confident start.
I don't know happy, but it's still a long way. So. But it was a good start.
Richard, 23 seconds down on Gronholm, who's leading now. Was it as bad as you expected running first on the road?
It's been a bit better because the second 2 stages it rained quite heavily in the last half. So the first half we were sliding around quite a lot. The second half, okay, we were sliding around, but with water rather than with the gravel, and of course that stays pretty much the same for everybody. So pretty happy with that.
Let's ride on board with 2 Peugeot drivers. Burns on the left is the first car on the road, and in dry conditions he should be sliding around and losing time in the process. But the softer conditions are giving him more grip. On the other hand, Rovanperä on the right is 15th on the road. Just look how much harder he is working on the steering. He should have benefited from a cleaner, harder line. But today he is losing out due to the muddier conditions caused by the rain and the passage of the cars ahead of him. It just goes to show how many factors affect the performance of a car.
The service break is over and it's time for the drivers to get back to work. Next up, a new Cassidy and Paparoa station with a combined distance of 33 kilometres. Marcus Gronholm knows these stages like the back of his hand. In fact, he holds the record on both of them. This year he goes even faster. The world champion is flying. Marco Martin's still enjoying a great run. His performance here in the new cars really boosted the team. However, his second place is in danger. Petter Solberg's on a charge. He's been eating into Martin's lead and now he's just over a second behind. It's tense moments for the pair of young guns. Solberg approaches the end of Paparoa station knowing the Ford is well within range. The clock shows Martin's time on the stage and Solberg's target.
Open 16, keep left of the best into big cuts, or right off half, long tightens.
Despite complaining of brake problems, he's faster, but Martin holds on, although the gap is reduced to just 0.7 of a second.
The rock gets hard. Some rock or something.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Also in the fight for a podium place is Harry Rovanperä. He's just 10 seconds behind Solberg. The battle is on. This is where Richard Burns crashed out of the rally last year, scuppering his chances of taking the title. But no problems for the Englishman in 2003. He flies through the stage. Tommi Makinen's really struggling. He's feeling sick, but co-driver Kai Lindström can't offer much support. He's feeling ill too. They're not doing so well and lose 5th place to Burns. This is the focus of Francois Duval. One of the radical changes Ford have made to this car is the handbrake. It doubles as a manual gear shift. When Duval's automatic gear change fails, he has to use it. The gear shift seems to be working well, but there appears to be an engine misfire. At last, good news though for Colin McRae. He was 2nd fastest on stage 5, but he has a huge task ahead of him if he's going to challenge the leaders. And this is how they stand as they head off to service. Gronholm was fastest on both stages and has the overall lead. The big fight is for 2nd, with Martin, Solberg and Rovanperä separated by a few seconds. Didier Auriol is the best of the Skodas in 10th place, while Colin McRae moves up to 12th. Back to service, and Ford are delighted with the way the rally's going.
It's really gone exceptionally well if you think of the level of experience that Marco's got in this event, plus the road position that he's running. I think it's remarkable. I mean, there's 2 of those stages, for instance, that in the first 5 that he's never done before as well. So I think it's a great lift for the whole team.
For me, it's very important to get points. You know, I'm not going out there trying to, you know, win on the first day. Have to find the pace, and we'll see on Sunday how it goes. But I need points.
Stages 6 and 7 are reruns, so drivers did not expect any surprises. Marcus Gronholm is no stranger to success, and it's easy to see why. The world champion hurdles his 206 around the tight and twisty roads and goes quickest on stage 6, Batley. It's a Peugeot that also takes the honours on stage 7, but this time it's Richard Burns. The Englishman is flying.
Fast left long, 20, fast left, plus 40, easy left, decay right, and tight.
Here comes Marco Martin on a charge. What a debut so far for the state-of-the-art brand new Focus. Although Colin McRae is out of the running for a win, there's everything to fight for. The championship is so close that every point is valuable. But 2 things can happen when the Scot is going flat out. He can go fastest, or it's a big impact, and McRae's not going to get away with it lightly.
Right and 6 left minus open, Dan.
He makes it to the end of the stage, but the damage is serious and he's forced to retire. He limps back to service. The track control arm, which holds the suspension strut in place, is broken.
We bounced out a rut and hit the bank on the exit of the corner, and it broke the TCA.
So there's no way you could continue?
No, I mean, not when we got to the end of the stage, but there's another 3 stages to go, so there's no chance.
So 7 stages down, and Marcus Gronholm extends his lead. Martin fends off Solberg, but just look at Richard Burns. He's breathing down the neck of teammate Harry Rovanperä for 4th. And so on to the final stages of day 1. Marco Martin has given a gutsy performance so far, considering this is only his 2nd appearance in New Zealand. But in the battle of the young guns, Martin is desperately trying to keep Petter Solberg at bay. Let's see if Petter can claim 2nd place on stage 9. Watch the clock on your right.
Left of a crest into 5, right half long, tightens, keep in 20. Shot 5 left of a crest and gap. Opens 50, tightens, 2 plus long tightens. Opens 60. Keep left of a crest and big cut. 4 right plus half long.
1/10 of a second faster. It's not enough, but this battle is far from over. Sebastien Loeb was constantly setting top 5 times, and he was richly rewarded. He overtook Carlos Sainz and completed day 1 as the best Citroen in 6th place. Harry Rovanperä will be disappointed he isn't right there with the leaders, but the muddy conditions have held the Finn back. So much so that teammate Richard Burns is breathing down his neck for 4th place. Let's see if the Englishman can beat the Finn. Watch that clock on your right.
200.
Nearly 3.5 seconds quicker. He's done it. But the winner of stages 8 and 9, yet again, Marcus Gronholm. 7 stage wins on day 1 means Gronholm leads by over 38 seconds from Martin, with Solberg and Burns also fighting for a podium finish. Despite his illness, Tommi Makinen finishes 7th above Carlos Sainz. At the other end of the leaderboard are the Skodas of Tony Gardemeister and Didier Auriol, and Alister McRae's Mitsubishi.
I have done really 100% now, maximum, and sometimes the Martin is very close, so it will be good.
The car's been fantastic, really. It's great fun to drive and no problems at all, and they definitely lost less time than we expected on the first day because they're 4th on the road and we expected to lose time, but it's not bad. You stuck to your game plan today, not to push too hard.
No. I need to get points. That's the most important thing for me. I don't like to be behind in the championship.
Coming up after the break, all the action from day 2 of Rally New Zealand. We'll see if anyone can catch magic Marcus Gronholm. Flying high, it's Richard Burns. We'll be taking some time out with the English driver. And don't forget, you can get all the latest news on our official website at WRC.com. See you after the break. Welcome back to Rally New Zealand, where the sky's the limit. Day 1 and the heavens opened. That was good news for Richard Burns, who was first out of the starting blocks. The rain had swept away the loose gravel, and so the championship leader gave it maximum attack. But the weather certainly didn't work in Citroen's favour. McRae, Loeb and Sainz had windscreen problems and could barely see the road in front. But McRae's day was going to go from bad to worse. Damaged suspension and retirement for the Scot. But out in front, super cool Marcus Gronholm winning 7 of the 9 stages. Day 2 in the land of the long white cloud. Down at ground level, drivers made final preparations as they faced the toughest start imaginable, the 59-kilometre Paparoa stage. Nicky Grist explains why.
With virtual spectator, here's the opening test of day 2. It's an absolute belter and it'll really make the drivers sweat. There's a good mixture of fast and flowing to really twisty sections. Also a bit of tarmac to break it all up. Towards the end, when the tyres are getting worn, there's a really demanding section, and the crews will be desperate to see the finish line.
On the start line is Didier Auriol. His assault on this monster stage has just begun. But his Octavia develops handling problems and he's finding the car undrivable. He has no choice, he has to slow down. Carlos Sainz started the stage the standard 2 minutes behind Auriol. It's the Spaniard's birthday and he's hoping to reward himself with some good times to climb back up the leaderboard. The bank was just too steep for Sainz to climb back up. The only option is to drive into the field and find another way back onto the road. It's not easy though, and the detour drops him right out of contention. The sheer length of the stage is taking its toll on Tommi Makinen. The anti-deflation mousse in his tyres is breaking up. That knocks the wheel seriously out of balance and the vibration means Makinen has to work so much harder. Harry Rovanperä was disappointed with his day 1 position of 5th, but the battle was on as the Finn tried to catch teammate Richard Burns. But Burns had another battle on his mind. Petter Solberg was only 12 seconds ahead and the English driver was determined to catch him. But Solberg's mind was totally focused on the Ford of Marco Martin in second place. The difference between them was just 5 seconds. But it's far from a trouble-free run. Early on in the stage, Solberg picks up a puncture.
Long, tight and slippy over narrow bridge.
The Norwegian knows he's lost time, but he'll only know how much at the stage end. The clock on the right shows Richard Burns' time.
6 right, opens 80.
As soon as he crosses the line, Solberg knows he's slipped to fourth.
Petter, it looks like you've worn the tyres out completely. How was that stage?
I went very well for a while, and then we had a broken running tire the last 5 kilometers. Lost too much time. Terrible.
Marco Martin is unaware of Solberg's problems. He's really relishing this rally, and so far the new car has been faultless. But then just 4 kilometers into the stage, he had to change to the manual gear shift system, which isn't as efficient as the electronic one. He holds on to second, but there's a lot of work to do for Ford at service. Meanwhile, rally leader Marcus Gronholm is cruising. As he turns into the next straight, look out for the pit board. It's a split time and the team are letting him know how he's doing. Looks like he's happy with what he sees. Once again, the reigning world champion is quickest. So this is how they stand after stage 10. Gronholm leads from Martin, Burns and Solberg. At the bottom of the table, another Solberg, but Christian's no relation. He's in a privateer Mitsubishi.
4 kilometers into stage 10, Marco Martin loses the electronic gear change. At that point, he disconnects the handbrake to use the lever as a gear stick. Now he has to lift off the throttle on every gear change, losing valuable time. In 55 kilometers, he lost 14 seconds to a chasing Burns, who's trying to take his second place.
Back at service, it's a hive of activity over at the Ford garage as the mechanics change the hydraulic system on Marco Martin's Focus. They have just 20 minutes to complete the task. Watch the clock. 18 minutes and 14 seconds. Mission accomplished. Here's Marco Martin out of service and determined to hold on to second place. Nerves are on edge as he waits to see if the service repairs have been successful. But the young Estonian is flying and goes quickest on both stages 11 and 12. Harry Rovanpera's a new target, Petter Solberg. The Finn is pushing hard to take fourth place, and he does it on stage 12, Toka Toka. But it's Rovanpera's teammate Marcus Gronholm who's still out in front with over a minute's lead. Marco Martin finds himself in a Peugeot sandwich and Solberg slipped down to fifth.
Taking time out of Richard on the last 2 stages. You confident you can keep him behind you?
Yeah, it seems like everything's working all right at the moment, so should be okay.
So obviously no gremlins now, they're all fixed at the last service.
Sorry?
There's no problems with the car now, they're all fixed in the last service.
Yeah, our mechanics did a good job on last service, no time penalties, and car is perfect again, so it's good.
Before the rally got underway, championship leader Richard Burns took some time out to go heli-biking on the South Island. What's heli-biking? Well, you go up the mountain in a helicopter and come down it on a bike.
2,100 metres. Not quite as high as my home in Andorra, but there is only one way, and that is down.
Stage 13, and there'll be plenty of fingers crossed that this second run through Parahy is less drama than the first. Sebastien Loeb is really getting into his stride now and is looking super cool in the Citroën. He's 4th fastest on the stage and 6th overall. And he's got his eye on 5th place that's currently occupied by Petter Solberg. but the Norwegian is determined to stop his slide down the leaderboard and he's really pushing.
20. Come on!
Nearly half a minute is lost as he needs to be helped back onto the road by spectators. Co-driver Phil Mills tells him to keep his cool.
Okay, just really settle down now. Keep left of a small crest, 60.
Marco Martin's aiming for his third consecutive stage win. At the end of the stage, it's confirmed he's fastest so far, but there's still that man Marcus to come. But just look at what happens next.
Vasen pirupitkä täys. 100. Vasen nopea risteys. 120. Kasu.
Marcus turns the car on its side and he's stranded.
Quick, no, on the wheels. Turn it. Very good.
As soon as he's back on four wheels, he's on his way again. A lucky escape, but Gronholm could only manage 13th quickest. It's remarkable, despite the dramas, there's no change at the top, but Gronholm's cut his lead, and if Martin keeps winning stages, it could be a dream rally for Ford. Harry Rovanperä, the first of the three Peugeots to venture onto 31 kilometres of Ararua. Taking 20 seconds off his teammate Richard Burns and snatching third is a big job for anyone. But Rovanperä knows a mistake from any of the men ahead means he's on for a podium place.
Pitkä vasen eri plus. Oi.
But it's the Finn who makes the error. Rally New Zealand claims another victim.
I feel his tires is almost finished and lose a little bit line in soft gravel and never coming back, and that happens.
Next through the stage is Richard Burns. With Rovanperä off his tail, his third place is looking very safe because Petter Solberg's over 40 seconds behind. And the Norwegian's chances aren't helped by a couple of spins. He's complaining of vibrations in the Impreza, but makes it safely to the end of the stage.
Line into catch at 2 right tightens. Opens.
If all goes according to plan, Marco Martin will start the final day of the rally in second place.
6 minus left.
But the dream is about to be shattered. The engine suddenly loses compression and he grinds to a halt. He's forced to retire.
I'll have to get out with an arrow. That's a dangerous place to stop.
We were having good fun, so I wanted to do more stages, but okay, at least we showed that our new car is very competitive, and we still need to sort out some problems, but I'm sure the future looks good.
The exit of Rovanperä and Martin has shaken things up, but there's no doubt as to the leader. It's Marcus Gronholm who yet again claims stage honours. So 14 stages down, 8 to go, and Gronholm leads from teammate Richard Burns. Sebastien Loeb is flying high, the best of the Citroens in 4th place. At service, Marcus Gronholm has time to reflect on the moment that nearly finished his rally.
Now it's a long left flat, and then 100 and quite a slow junction to left. And I came too fast, as you see, and on the roof, not on the side. And now it takes a long time.
Day 2 ended with 2 runs through a super special stage at Makinen. In torrential rain, no one was taking any risks around the short 2-kilometre sprint. Stage winners were Francois Duval and Petter Solberg. So day 2 completed and Marcus Gronholm has a minute lead over teammate Richard Burns. Despite his problems, Petter Solberg holds on to 3rd place and a potential podium finish. But it was a day to forget for Tommi Makinen. He incurred a 5-minute time penalty for speeding on the road section and dropped from 5th to 9th and out of the points. Coming up after the break, we'll have all the thrills and spills from the final day of Rally New Zealand. We'll announce the winner of the Inmarsat Star of the Rally. And don't forget, you can catch all the latest news on our official website at www.wrc.com. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Rally New Zealand. The star of day 2 was once again Marcus Gronholm, but even he found out this rally can have a nasty bite. He was lucky to escape this accident with the loss of just a few seconds. Not so lucky Marco Martin. The engine on his Ford Focus failed him. Rally over. But Harry Rovanpera's retirement was the most spectacular of them all. And despite some heart-stopping moments, Petter Solberg was the best of the Subarus.
Come on! Come on!
It's 8:23 in the morning on the final day and the sun is shining as crews prepare for a further 6 stages.
Marcus with a minute lead. This rally is for you to lose, fair to say?
Yeah, okay, the minute it's okay, good lead, so just have to keep now safe pace and should be okay.
Here comes Tommi Makinen. There were no more brushes with the law off stage for the 4 times world champion. On stage, his average speed was just over 100 kilometres an hour, but he was only 6th quickest. Mitsubishi's Alister McRae is poised to finish in the points, but the big question is how many points? Only Tony Gardemeister can answer that. If he goes more than 5 seconds faster than McRae, he'll snatch 6th place. The clock on the right shows his time and his target. He's considerably faster and pushes McRae down to 7th. Hyundai's Freddie Loix is lying in 5th. If he can stay there, it'll be a great boost for him and the team. This is the first time Citroën have competed in New Zealand, and the team knew it was going to be difficult to match the pace of their more experienced rivals. But Sebastien Loeb was doing a great job. He was 4th overall. 3rd is Petter Solberg. The Norwegian is totally focused on claiming his first podium place of the year, and that's just what he needs to get his championship back on track. Richard Burns loves New Zealand. His win here in 2001 set him on track to win the world title, but he hasn't won a rally since, and he hasn't won in a Peugeot. It's unlikely he'll break his duck here either. That's because the man in front is over a minute ahead. And that's Marcus Gronholm. It's business as usual. Another stage win and the world champion extends his lead. So Gronholm is 1 minute 13 seconds over Richard Burns. Also in the points, Loeb, Freddie Loix and Alister McRae. Alister McRae has a less powerful engine than the full-spec WRC motor. It's a tribute to his talent that he's setting top 10 times. Skoda's Tony Gardemeister is on course to finish in the points for the third rally in a row. But still trying to get a grip is Freddie Loix. Out of sight of the cameras, the slippery conditions got the better of the Belgian. He went off the road and damaged the car so badly he had to retire.
We have been struggling already all the morning with too much side wear from the car, always tapping out the moment you want to turn in, so it has been already a few times tricky. Not that the speed was so high, not that we overdrove the car, but was feeling quite dangerous.
At 32 kilometres, this is the longest stage of the final day, and Sebastien Loeb wasn't enjoying 1 centimetre of it. His automatic gear shift failed and he had to switch to manual. Richard Burns flies through the stage and throws down the gauntlet to Marcus Gronholm. Let's see if Gronholm can beat the time set by his teammate. Watch the clock on your right.
8 ja Vaseri helppo. 8 ja oikea eri.
He's slower, but only by 0.2 of a second. So Freddie Loix is the first casualty of day 3, and his retirement means Tommi Makinen's back in the points.
From the start line of stage 18, just look how running later on the road improves your grip. Marcus, running last WRC car, gains a second in the first 400 metres. His advantage for being the fastest on day 1.
At service, the Peugeot camp look relaxed, maybe sensing victory.
Taking the foot off the gas a bit this morning, or are you still going quick?
No, not maximum anymore, no. It's just now about to stay on the road.
Gossip concerning who will be driving for who next season has already begun. Richard Burns, whose contract is up at the end of the season, has been denying rumours of a move back to Subaru in 2004. This news was heightened by talk in the Norwegian press, linking current Subaru charge Petter Solberg with the move to Peugeot. A definite change for next season will be the arrival of the Skoda Fabia, which is set to replace the Octavia. Drivers Tony Gardemeister and Didier Auriol have been testing the new car, which Skoda hopes to debut before the end of this season.
The driving style was different, and Fabia turns very well on tight corners and like this, and I'm quite optimistic also from that car.
There'll be no Langley Park Super Special stage at Rally Australia this year. With a switch to the end of the Australian winter in September, the organisers are concerned that the grass area could become unusable if there was heavy rainfall. Although there will be a Super Special at another venue, rally fans will be sad at the absence of Langley Park, which set the standard for all Super Specials. There's not long to go now before the 2003 Rally New Zealand is decided. Carlos Sainz won the last WRC event in Turkey. It's a very different story here. He's 17 minutes down on the rally leaders.
A fondo para uno corto, rasante derecha rápida, menos de cierre con C. Para atención, rasante izquierda rápida, ojos de cierra, cesar mucho. Para derecha una más corta, posible quinta, a fondo. Para fondo, izquierda. No.
This collision has caused considerable damage, and the Spaniard isn't happy with his pace notes. The damage is all too apparent. It's been one to forget for Sainz. This is Richard Burns in the car of the moment, as the former world champion sets the quickest time on both stages 19 and 20. So 3 stage wins in a row for Burns, but no change of position on the leaderboard. But there's still 20 kilometres separating the crews from the finish line, and as we've already seen, no one's safe. So just 2 stages to go, and rally leader Marcus Gronholm needs to stay out of trouble to claim that victory. After 3 days of full-on action, the points are about to be decided.
Nyt vasenlaita oikein helppo yli nyt tarkkana. 520.
Didier Auriol's the first to score. The manufacturer's points he earns are great news for Skoda too. It's been an eventful rally for Tommi Makinen. His speeding on a road section earned him a hefty fine and a 5-minute penalty. Still, finishing 7th does mean there's 2 points to add to his account. It's been a worthwhile journey to the other side of the world for Scotland's Alister McRae. He finishes 6th for 3 points and is clearly delighted.
Well done, Well done.
Tony Gardemeister's 5th place is his best of the season so far. Meanwhile, Sebastien Loeb's fan club is out in force.
I love you, Sebastien. I love you more. And mine says I love you the most.
Thanks to the Frenchman, the Citroën team don't go away empty-handed. He finishes 4th. Petter Solberg's fought hard to hang on to 3rd. He came to New Zealand wanting points, and he's rewarded with a podium place. Richard Burns takes 2nd. That's enough to hold on to his championship lead.
Loeb, the crazy right Max, to right Max Loeb, 17. Richard finished the stage. Good job.
Thanks to everybody. Thank you.
But the maximum 10 points go to Marcus Gronholm. He's led from start to finish and stamped his authority on this rally. He finishes over a minute ahead of the rest of the pack.
Nyt täys. 8. Vaseri helppo. Nyt täys. 8. Oikein helppo. Joo. Meni vähän vaikeaksi, on näkyy. Finland 5 points.
Peugeot team boss Corrado Provera is relieved it's all over.
Oh, thank you very much.
Confirmation then that Gronholm wins from Richard Burns and Petter Solberg. Skoda's Didier Auriol claims the final driver's point. Further down the leaderboard are the Fords of Francois Duval and Mikko Hirvonen, while Carlos Sainz finishes a disappointing 12th.
Team tactics will go for 3rd, and you've done it.
Yeah, that was the plan, and get some points. If we were closer to Richard this morning, like a plan on Friday, I would have been gone for a higher attack today. But for me, it was mainly just to save the 3rd place, get the points, and everybody's happy.
Richard, congratulations, an outstanding drive given your road position on Friday.
Thanks. I always said, like before the rally, if we both had clean runs, and it was going to be really tough to beat Marcus, and we had a few little problems yesterday, but I think 2nd place still leading the championship, and with Colin and Carlos having those problems as well, it's made quite a big difference to us.
Marcus, 2nd win in 2 years here in New Zealand. You've been in a class of your own all rally.
Yeah, it has been a good rally since the start, and no really problems. One small roll, but it was okay. Just that.
And now to the winner of the Inmarsat Star of the Rally Award, chosen by Nicky Grist. With a hat-trick of stage wins, the radically new Ford Focus has been a revelation in the hands of Marco Martin. Therefore, the award goes to Christian Loriot, Technical Director of Ford Rally Sport, and his team of engineers, who accept the trophy and a cheque for $5,000 to give to their favourite charity. In the race for the Drivers' Championship, Richard Burns now leads by 6 points, while Gronholm's victory moves him into second position. Sebastien Loeb's up to third and Petter Solberg's also in the running. It's pretty tight at the other end too. Tony Gardemeister's up to 7 points and poised to overtake Francois Duval. A maximum points haul for Peugeot means they leapfrog Citroën to take the lead in the Manufacturers' Championship. It's good news for team boss Corrado Provera.
We are really very satisfied. We are happy also because competition is getting stronger, and the more it will be strong, the more we'll have to work and keeping the pace we have. So we are very proud and proud for the whole team. Very happy and looking forward to Argentina in 1 month.
So a great weekend's work for Peugeot. 2 drivers on the podium and the lead in the Manufacturers' Championship. But there's barely time for Marcus Gronholm to taste the champagne before he and the WRC head to South America. Water splashes, high-speed crashes, jumps and bumps. Rally Argentina is a spectacular event. You can find out more about the next round of the championship by clicking onto WRC.com. But for now, it's time to say goodbye from New Zealand. See you next month in Argentina.